Welcome back to my YouTube channel English Vanessa. In today's video, we are going to see Degree 3rd Sem, Unit 1, Poem Life written by Charlotte Bronte. So, students, often we hear people talking about all the negative experiences of life, and everyone take it for granted that life is a burden. But Charlotte Bronte crafted this poem with a fairly simple message in mind. She is seeking to dispel the myth or any dark thoughts one might believe in that life is necessarily bad, dark, and unpleasant. So, before going on to the explanation of this summary, let's know about this author, poetess, that is Charlotte Bronte. So, students, Charlotte Bronte was a 19th century English writer whose novel Jane Eyre 1847 is considered a classic of Western literature. She was the eldest of the three Bronte sisters, Charlotte Bronte, Emily Bronte, and Annie Bronte, who survived into adulthood and went on published novels. She published her novel under a pen name, which is called Currer Bell. She published her novels with the pseudonym with the male name, which is Currer Bell. Now let us see the introduction to this poem. So this poem it is motivated and optimistic poem that encourages and motivates us to have a positive view of life. In this poem she beautifully described the ups and downs we are going to face in our life and how to face them. We enjoy the happiness in life but at the same time we have grief and complaints regarding the sorrows and unhappy events in our life. So here she beautifully explained that even we face sorrow for sometimes they are going to follow happy events. We should not complain or we should not lose hope whenever we feel sorrowful. There is a famous proverb that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel and every dark cloud has a silver shining. Now let's begin our poem. Life, believe, is not a dream so dark as sages say. Of a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. So, students, in the first line, the poet, that is Charlotte Bronte, according to her, life is not so dark and gloomy as the sages say. She argues that life does have both happy days as well as gloomy days. So, the gloomy days last for a short period. One should face both happiness and sadness in our life with determination and courage. So here she advises us not to fear or threat life. Instead, she tells us to be optimistic about life. And in the next line, this of a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. Here, the poetess taking a metaphor of morning rain. She is taking the example of morning rain, which symbolizes sorrows and despair. The poet tells us that even there is a little morning rain, the rest of the day is pleasant one. So that means even after there are problems and worries in our life is going to be lovely and pleasant. Just as the like after the rain which foretells a pleasant day. Now let's read the next lines. Sometimes there are clouds of gloom, but these are transient all. If the shower will make the roses bloom, oh, why lament is fall. So, students, here in this line, again, the poet is taking a metaphor of the clouds of gloom. Clouds of gloom are nothing but the dark clouds, so which symbolizes sorrow and grief that are present in everyone's life. So, these are transient, means temporary. They come for a short while, yet they make the roses bloom. So, also in our life, we have sorrow and grief. It leads to joy and happiness as well. Then, in the last line, the poetess asks us a rhetorical question, which for which no answer will be there. Oh, why laments its fall? Which means that if the shower makes the roses bloom, then we shouldn't complain about the rainfall. So, in the same way, if we have sadness and grief in our life, don't worry of these. There will be happiness soon. So, just like this, dark clouds will follow the shower and make the roses bloom. In the same way, this sorrowful life, our sorrowful life also will bring the happiness as well. Now let's read the next stanza. Rapidly, merrily, life's sunny hours flit by. Gratefully, cheerily, enjoy them as they fly. So, students, here the poetess says that we have happy moments in our life which move very quickly. So, here she advises us to enjoy these fast flying moments before they lost forever. So, we have to enjoy every moment of our life. We have to utilize every moment of our life before they lost forever. Now, in the last stanza, what though death at times steps in and calls our best away? What though sorrow seems to win our hope a heavy sway? So, students, this O is over. It is a poetic form which is OVER over. Let's see the explanation of these lines. So, here in this line, the poet is again asking a rhetorical question with us that even though death had taken away our loved ones and our house in cast of sorrow, we should not be swayed away by grief and lose hope. The next lines, yet hope again lasting spring, unconquered though she fell. Still buoyant are her golden wings, still strong to bear as well. So, here, students, in this line, the poetess personified hope with the female character and said that hope has elastic springs. It means that just like elastic stretches itself, and as the same, when a spring is released, it will jump all around. So, in the same way, hope stretches itself and jumps all around so that people catch it. But at last, it will never conquered by anyone. So, those who have hope in them, no one can conquer them, no one can defeat them. Now, let us see the meaning of this sentence. Though she fell, still buoyant are her golden wings, still strong to bear as well. So, though hope has fallen its golden wings that are strong and buoyant, but our hope and courage will help it to bounce back. So, we should never feel despair for it because is there our hope which guide and lift us up. So, if we fall in our life by temporary setbacks or anything, so our hope can lift us up. So, never lose hope in our life. Now, let's see the next lines. Manfully, fearlessly, the day of trial bear, for gloriously, victoriously can courage quell despair. So, here, students, in the last stanza, the poetess encourages us to be strong and fearless, for on the day of trial when we have our bad day or failure day, we have to be strong at that time because that bad day will be glorious and victorious, and our courage will squell the despair, and we all will triumph at the last. So, if we have courage in us and if we have positive attitude towards our life, so our courage will quell the despair and we will triumph, we will be win. So, students, this is all about the poem life. In the first stanza, the that begins by saying that life is not some kind of dark dream. In fact, unpleasant things as such as clouds are transient, and rain will make the roses bloom. So, why should one be upset over the rain when such loveliness come after it? Second stanza, which is a simpler and shorter, in which she is merrily and cheerily celebrating the sunny hours of life, and she is advising us to enjoy them before they lose forever. And here, students, the last stanza, which is the longest and minimizing the power of death. So, though it may take love one away, we should not be swayed away by grief and lose hope. So, here we can give the conclusion to this poem as this poem focuses on the realities of life and remind us that we have to face moments of joy as well as sorrows, hope as well as despair in our life. However, the poet urges us to have a positive attitude and not to be disheartened by temporary setbacks. She encourages us to look beyond the immediate disappointments and appreciate the pleasures that life has offered us. She asserts that in the battle between hope and despair, although despair may seem more powerful initially, it is hope that will win eventually. In our life also, we think that despair may seem more powerful, but that hope, our hope will win eventually. There is a famous proverb by P.B. Shelley which is in Ode to West Wind. If winter comes, can spring be far behind? Which means if we have bad day in our life, the good days are far behind. So students, this is all about the summary of life. I hope it would be helpful for you. Stay tuned for the next SEM videos. Thanks for watching.